Hi everyone, Jenny here, home educating mum to 6, and welcome to my channel. Yes, you can home educate. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about secondary education. It's kind of a big subject. Anyone that is embarking on home educating a teen will be feeling a bit daunted. I know that when I started with my eldest, he was at the beginning of his secondary education and I was terrified. It had been quite a while since I'd done any trigonometry. It had been quite a while since I'd written an essay, and like I say, I was pretty scared, very daunted, quite overwhelmed, wasn't sure where to start. I wanted to make sure that he had all the opportunities available to him that children have when they go to school. I didn't want him to miss out on those because he was home educated. We all agreed that GCSEs was the way that we wanted to do it. I had grown up in Australia, and the system of exams there in secondary education was very different to the GCSE system, and I had gone through school anyway. I hadn't been home educated, so I had no idea. I was really starting from a complete position of ignorance. But the good thing to know is if I could do it, anyone can. My eldest has just finished all his GCSEs this year, so he's achieved that through home education, and we're really pleased with that. My second son did a GCSE in Year 9. He did 3 more this year and will be completing 4 more next year, along with a couple of equivalent Trinity qualifications as well. And my daughter is also going to be starting this autumn with her first GCSE in English. So as I said, if I can do it, anyone can. We're going to break this down into simple questions that parents ask when they first get started, and we are just going to go through them and simplify things, and we'll realise together that it is quite doable. I'm going to try to keep things general, however, because as we know, the beauty of home education is that it's not a one-size-fits-all. So families can tailor the education of their children to the needs of their children and their family situation. Finally, I will share with you the places that you can find out more information, where you can research yourself and find out everything that you need in order to get started home educating your teen at home and going the GCSE route, if that is what you want to do. So let's start with the first question. Why take GCSEs? First of all, they are widely recognised in the UK, and they open doors to further education like A-levels or vocational courses, also apprenticeships, apprenticeship degrees, and then later on, if a child so wants, university will not only look at A-levels, but they will also like to see GCSEs. Vocational courses at college will want to see as a minimum maths and English. My son is particularly interested in doing a degree apprenticeship when the time comes, and he's already looking into these things, and so they are not only looking for A-levels, many of them will want to see 5 GCSEs at a grade C or 4 and above. GCSEs give your child an opportunity to challenge themselves. They may want to measure their progress, and it could give them a great sense of achievement and confidence to achieve these GCSEs. So GCSEs can give you increased opportunities. Many institutions and employers will require GCSEs as a minimum for certain roles or courses, and GCSEs can make it easier for your child to compete. While they offer many advantages, they are not the sole measure of ability and success. Home educated students also have the flexibility and the ability to explore alternative paths to further education or to their desired careers in the future. So that leads me to my second question that people ask: what are the alternatives to GCSEs? Just like education within the school system is not compulsory in the UK, neither are GCSEs. Some home educating families decide to home educate up to the age of 16, allowing their child the benefits and advantages of learning in the home education environment. And then at age 16, they may enter a college and do a vocational course. And at that point, if they don't have GCSEs, then they can do maths and English alongside that course, and that is a compulsory requirement by the government. Also, another thing that some home educating families do is that they won't do GCSEs at all, but they will sit American SATs at the end of their secondary school education. So they may be following an American curriculum, of which there are many, and many home educating families do that, and that goes right up to the age of 18, and then they will sit something called SATs, which can be sat at various centres in the UK, and they will use that to apply to university. Finally, there are other alternative courses that can be accepted as GCSE equivalents, but it is really important that you check and research your local colleges or the institutions where they hope to study their further education and find out whether they will accept these alternatives. Some of them might include things like Trinity Art Awards, Trinity Music examinations, also Duke of Edinburgh Awards. There are various online courses. There are many online courses you can sit. Some young people will complete BTEC qualifications through cadets, and there are many other ways that your child can get qualifications if they don't want to go through the GCSE route. But obviously, depending on what their goals are, what they want to do in the future, it's really important to look at those further education institutions that they may be interested in getting into, or future employers who they wish to be working for, and see whether these alternatives will be accepted. So the third question is, how does a home educated child take GCSEs? Well, they take them as external students at exam centres throughout the country. This can be at various dedicated centres. So one organisation or company is called Tutors and Exams, and there are several of them dotted throughout the UK. Also, there are many private schools that are quite happy to have external students take GCSEs with them for a fee. So that's what my son has done. That's what my sons have done over the last couple of years. We're really lucky to have a college not too far from us, and the lady that I deal with at the college is really helpful. She's been hosting external candidates for many years, and it's been really easy. She's made it really easy for us. So that's pretty straightforward. That's how home educated children sit their GCSEs. So the fourth question is, what are the pros and cons of sitting GCSEs as home educated student? So let's start with the pros. Your child can sit their exams when they're ready. They might be ready sooner, they might need a little more time. There's no pressure to sit their GCSEs all in one go in year 11 when they turn 16. They're absolutely free to do it when they like. Many home educating families have their children sit their GCSEs over various years. They will spread the GCSEs over various years, and that's what we've been doing, and that's worked really well for us. It reduces the pressure on the children, it reduces the pressure on the family, and it spreads the cost. The other thing is that home educated children often don't sit as many GCSEs as school students. So often students within the school system will sit around 10 GCSEs. Many home educated students will sit 5 because that's what's required at university. That's what they'll look at, minimum 5. Although, of course, you can do more should you want to do more. And that's, again, something for you and your child to decide whether they want to do 5 or more. But many home educated students do 5 GCSEs. They're able to sit them at a time when they're ready to, in stages. They're able to spread them out over several years, and then they can go on to A-levels. That's sufficient to go on to A-levels and university should they want to, or it's sufficient to get into the whatever course, vocational course they're wishing to enter. So it's not necessary to cram 10 subjects in like in the school system. You can sit 5 or 6, or you might even just sit maths and English. If they know what course they want to get into and it only requires maths and English, that's fine as well. It's flexible. The fact that they can sit less GCSEs and they're not forced to sit so many all in one go means that they can carry on enjoying the benefits of home educating in that there's not that intense pressure to just study for exams the entire time. They can spend time on their individual interests, whatever subjects they like, whatever interests they have, without that intense pressure of studying for all their exams over 2 years and then sitting them all in year 11. Another advantage of sitting GCSEs as home educated student is that you may be able to choose subjects that would not be on offer at your local school or whatever school that they would attend. Many schools will offer just a set of subjects, but maybe not all of the subjects. There are many GCSEs that you can sit, including things like astronomy, classics, film studies. They may not all be offered at every school anyway, so there's that flexibility that they may be able to study the things that really interest them. And of course, if you're studying something that interests you, you're much likely to do better and be happier doing it and lead to more opportunities in the future for them. So on to the cons. The first one is the cost. So you are responsible for paying for every GCSE, and that can cost anything from £130 per exam up to £150, £180 per exam, depending on where you're sitting it. So again, that is worth looking into early on, seeing what exam centres are available in your area and then finding out what they cost, and then you can again decide how you're going to spread that cost and plan for it in advance. Also, there are some GCSEs that require externally marked coursework, so obviously those ones are not available to home educated students. However, there are many alternatives. So for instance, some exam boards who offer various science GCSEs will require coursework that's externally assessed, for instance biology or chemistry. So you would not be able to sit those exams as a home educated student. However, there are other exam boards that will offer exam only marked GCSEs that your student can do. So for instance, my son's done biology, chemistry and physics, and he's done the Edexcel IGCSE, which is equivalent to the GCSEs. It's accepted as equal in terms of UCAS points to the GCSEs. The I stands for international. So these are international GCSEs that can be sat all over the world at various centres. But there are many private schools that offer them in the country as well. And the beauty of them is that they are exam based only. So there is no externally marked coursework, and that's not a problem for home educated students. Having said that, since COVID lockdowns, many of the GCSEs also do offer exam only based qualifications. So more and more subjects are being opened up to home educated students. Another one of the cons is, along with the fact that some will require externally assessed or independently assessed coursework, some other subjects might require practical exams. And they're not completely out of the question, but they might be difficult to access. There are various course providers that can arrange that, but again, it just requires a little bit of research. So I think that covers the main disadvantages of doing GCSEs for home educated students. Question number 5, how do we get started doing GCSEs at home? One of the first things to do is to research the exam boards. There are various. The main ones are Edexcel, AQA, Cambridge International, OCR, I think there's a couple of others, but look up the exam boards. They all have websites, and you can look at the syllabi of the different subjects, look at whether the subjects are marked exam only. You can look up the various syllabi to see what's included in the subjects, what various topics. Have a look at the different exam boards, have a look at what they examine, what does the course look like, and see what would suit your child. So like I said, you need to choose the exams that are 100% exam based, or find a course provider that can help you with coursework should that be possible. Decide how many years that you want to take and when you want them to take their GCSEs, how long you want to dedicate to studying towards those GCSEs, how long you think it might take. decide how many GCSEs. You will need to look at whether you want to self-study or will you use a course provider, of which there are many. And again, that's something to research. Another question to ask is, do you want them to start studying for GCSEs in year 7? Or do you want them to take some time doing Key Stage 3? Again, some home educators won't bother with Key Stage 3. Their child might be ready. They might feel really confident with certain subjects, and they will just focus on a couple of subjects in year 7 and maybe work towards doing a GCSE exam in year 8. And then they may pick up a couple more exams in the following year and then work towards doing those exams, and just really take things slowly and easily. Other families, for instance, our family, I just felt that I wanted my children to do KS3 for a couple of years. We didn't take the 3 years that the school system allocates. We took 2 years so far with my first 2 sons. That suited them. Obviously, I don't know how it'll be for my younger children. You just have to tailor it to the child. But my eldest 3 were able to do KS3 studies over 2 years and get a good idea about various subjects, keeping things quite broad so that they could then decide what GCSEs they might want to take later on. And then we started GCSEs studies a year earlier than they would in school, so in year 9 rather than year 10. Actually, one of my sons started a GCSE subject in year 8, and he sat that was computer science, and he sat that in year 9. But he was still doing that alongside Key Stage 3 subjects. And then he has slowly built up and added in the GCSE courses that he's wanted to do. He's done a couple more GCSEs this year, 3 more actually, and then he will be doing another 4 next year. One important thing I forgot to say was that it's really important to find your local exam centres early on when you're still deciding what GCSEs to take. Not all exam centres test for all exam boards. So before your child and you set your hearts on a specific course, a specific GCSE, you need to find out whether your local exam centres will be able to hold those examinations for your child. All of those points that I've just brought up, I know leads on to other questions. Which GCSEs and how many GCSEs does my child need to take? So again, it all depends on your child. Do they know what they want to do in the future? Have they got an idea? What are they good at? What do they like? What are their interests? Do they like English, for instance? I've got a daughter that absolutely is obsessed with English and wants to write. She's already writing. She's decided she's going to write a novel. And so she loves English, and she has strength in English. So she's definitely going to be doing English language alongside English literature. Are they interested in any vocational courses? What do those courses require in order to be accepted onto the course? Are they interested in doing something that requires university in the long term? What GCSEs and what A-levels do those institutions require to be accepted onto the courses that your child might be interested in? For instance, if they're thinking of engineering, well then they need to be looking into STEM subjects, sciences, maths. Like I said before, vocational courses will be looking for a minimum of maths and English language, but they may be able to enter into a college course and then do maths and English alongside their course. Other courses will expect them to have those in advance, and like I said, many A-level colleges will expect 5 GCSEs as a minimum, and then further on, if they think they might want to go to university in the future, universities will be expecting 5 GCSEs along with their A-levels. So it really does depend how many GCSEs. It might just be maths and English. It might be 5 different GCSEs, and you would choose them again according to their interest. If they're not sure what they want to do, it makes sense to keep their options open. So obviously maths, English, some sciences, a humanity, a history or a geography, just to try and keep things open. There's GCSEs on so many subjects, and again, it's just really worth investigating and researching, and there's lots and lots of information on this online. So the final question that I've got here is, Where can I find out more, and where can I get support with home education for GCSEs? Well, the first place I would send you to is a fantastic website called HE I will put the link in the description below. Go there. It is an encyclopedia of information for parents of home educated students wanting to achieve GCSEs. It's absolutely wonderful. It's got everything to do with how to get started, what subjects they can take, course providers, should they want to go that way, how to go about self-studying. It's got a list of exam centres for the regions throughout the country. The next place I would send you to is Facebook. Again, I love Facebook. Facebook is a fantastic support and resource for home educating parents who need the support and help. The HE Wiki website has got a Facebook group, and it is called HE UK Exams and Alternatives Group. So look that up. Again, I'll put the link in the description below, and then you can talk to parents, other parents who are doing it. There are some, expert parents, veteran homeschooling parents on there who run the Facebook page and will have various files and information and loads of advice to help. I would send you to the local home education groups. Again, go to your local home education groups, as in your regional groups, and ask there again, because one of the things you want to do early on is find out if you have got exam centres near you, and ask other parents if there's other parents that have children sitting GCSEs and where. And from then on, you can ask all sorts of questions. There are loads of Facebook groups for the specific subjects. So GCSE subjects, parents of children sitting those subjects. And again, they share so much information. The home educating community is wonderful. Everyone helps each other. It seems that people are so happy to just support each other, share information, good courses to use, good textbooks, things that have helped them. Once your child has decided what subjects they want to do, go on and type in whatever it is, example, home education, GCSE maths, and you will find the GCSE maths home education group. And you can do that for pretty much all the main subjects. And of course, how could I forget, you need the exam boards. Just go onto their websites. So I hope that this video has been helpful and at least pointed you in the right direction if you and your child are thinking about the GCSE route. Look at those links in the description below. They're the place to go, and you can start researching. I hope to do more videos on this. We've used various course providers. We have not self-studied. We have used correspondence courses and course providers for all the GCSEs they've sat so far. That's working for us so far. So I will be doing future videos on the course providers we've used, and maybe they'll be of help to you. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with anyone that you think might benefit from these videos. Wish you all the best in your homeschool endeavours and the GCSE journey. Happy homeschooling to you all. And don't forget that yes, you can home educate. Bye bye. See you in the next video.